from the land to the sea.
We're doing something that is a must-do in the summer in Maine.
You got to go out on the water and you got to try and see some whales.
And we're going on a rib boat, which is a smaller boat.
We were just informed that we might be going upwards of 45 miles an hour. It's a very fast whale watching adventure.
It gets a little breezy. It's going to be cool out there. The water temperature is about 52, 53. Basically, you're going to be in a motorcycle riding at 50-something degrees. Here we go. You ready? So, and you guys are on my lookouts, because when I'm going, I'm looking way out ahead of me. All of a sudden, you might see a tail come out of the water, might see a big dorsal fin, might see a spout. That's a humpback, yeah. That's a treat. We don't usually see them this close. We're only about 8 miles out. Might get a tail shot here.
Yep. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. It was like the quintessential tail flip. It was picture perfect.
If they come into a large amount of fish, they'll call each other. The next thing you know, the other whales will join in.
There's two.
One reason why the humpbacks raise their tail when they're doing a deep dive, they have to pick their tail up in order to do a vertical dive, and they can dive up to over 700 feet, stay down as long as 30 minutes. Wow. It's the only known spot on the eastern seaboard where there was cannibalism. Way, way, way back then, they called it Boon Island because it had so many wrecks around it. All the lighthouses were pretty much given up in the late 70s. The Coast Guard sold a lot of the land. Individuals bought it, lighthouse trusts, different land trusts would buy them. They have to maintain the light and the horn. They can't, in other words, they can't wreck the lighthouse. They figure it's haunted by this woman named Catherine. Her and her husband, right after their honeymoon, moved out here to take care of the lighthouse. A winter storm come up. He came out of the house at the time to go up to the light to light the light. A wave hit him, knocked him off into the rocks and killed him. She managed to get him back in the house. About 3 days later, the townspeople noticed the light stopped coming on. They came out to see what was going on. She was walking around the island out here, delirious in her nightgown, babbling. She died a short time after that, and ever since then, anybody that's been out here, any lighthouse keepers, will always reported seeing the ghost of this woman. Don't expect anything to go, arr, 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 arr. Sea lions do that. Seals are quieter, but they do howl. You all of a sudden start hearing, whoo, and that's a seal. They can dive to over 1,000 feet. They can stay down almost up to an hour, and they have a top speed of about 20 miles an hour.
Oh, that was awesome.
This is definitely the way to do it. We've done other whale tours before, but doing them on a boat like this, which can move much faster and is much lower to the water, is definitely the way to see it. When they see the whale, they can quickly speed up, slow down, come to an idle, whereas the big boats, they can't do that.
He can like kill the engine and then you're just kind of floating and
dead silent.
Such a great experience. Captain Gary is absolutely incredible. He knows these waters very well. Like, he's gone diving off the coast of the lighthouse.
The man is a legend in this area.
Like, people were saying Captain Gary as we were coming back in. And then Wes was super awesome too. We would highly recommend a tour with these guys. We were originally supposed to be on a different tour yesterday, but because of the weather, it got canceled and we were able to hop on this one.
And speaking of the weather, it definitely makes sense as to why they're so cautious about the weather, particularly with these types of boats. It's in your best interest to have nicer, calmer weather when you're doing something like this, because these go up to 45 miles an hour.
We got to experience that at the end.
Yeah, doing donuts in the parking lot is pretty much what we just did.
So much fun.